understand Spanish, but I don't speak it. So I will speak in English, and I hope that you will be able to follow me. It's my first time in Buenos Aires, so it's really, everything is new, it's beautiful. I'm very happy to be here. And what I'm going to say to you today is the sum of 40 years in international development, what I went through, and how a TED Talk, and you're right, my friend, a TED Talk changed my life. When I was 21 years old, long time ago, I was a volunteer working in Africa. I'm Roman. I studied in Rome. I'm Italian, as I told you. And I started to work for an Italian NGO, non-profit organization. And we were working in Zambia, Kenya, Ivory Coast, Algeria, Somalia. For 7 years, I was involved in working for the Italian government and for this foundation in Africa. And every project in Africa failed. And I did not understand why. We were good people. We would go to Africa with these wonderful ideas. We will think, conceive the idea, go to Africa. And our projects only lasted our money. I see people already laughing because you have done that. You arrive, lots of energy on our part. Nobody local wanted to come and do it. How come? So we paid them to come. They came to work in our project, everybody happy. As soon as the money ran out, the local people went back to do exactly what they were doing before we arrived. Zero impact. Zero. So one project, another project, another project. And 2 years later, after the money had run out, 2 years later, that's the average, if you would go back to the village, you will not even find the building we built. The local people had dismantled, taken the roofing, the bricks. They had used the materials to do things they wanted. So the project usually lasted only our money. But sometimes the project failed when we were still paying the local people. So I gave a talk, a TED talk in 2012, describing the greatest failure of my organization. And I told the story as a joke. But that story got me 5 million viewers. I've been invited in 25 of the best universities in the world. You know, Stanford, Berkeley, London School of Economics, the best university in Africa, Stellenbosch. All these people say, come and talk to us. And I said, but there was a story of a mistake. And they said, nobody tells mistakes. Everybody keeps quiet when they make a mistake. You told it. Not only you told the mistake, but you told what you've done when you learn about the mistake. So please come. So a TED Talk 10 years ago changed my life. Because if you get a big audience, you discover who really is looking for that kind of knowledge. And I'm here because of that TED Talk. So what was the story that I told? I told the story of us Romans conceiving a project in Zambia. And the story that you will find on the TED Talk, I will go very quickly about it because you can see it. The story was about us arriving in a place in Zambia on the Zambezi River when the native people did not have any agriculture. And for us Italians, you know, we Italians, you know, we love agriculture. You know, the Italian tomatoes, oh, the best in the world. Zucchini, wow! So we said, oh, these poor Zambian people, they do not know horticulture. My God, we're so good. Why don't we go there? We teach them horticulture. So we developed this beautiful program. The program that we designed in an office in Rome was so good that when we read it in Rome, we cried. How good can we be? This is magnificent. We're going to go there, send 5 Italian agricultural technicians, agriculture experts, graduates from the best colleges in Italy. We are going to teach this group of 30 villagers horticulture, but then we are going to give them the land. We are going to help them establish a cooperative. They are going to teach them how to use only one tractor, one truck to take the goods to the market in Lusaka. You know, we are going to donate everything. They will be so happy. And we arrive uninvited in a community in Africa because we are so good. Also, we are so superior. Italians. Oh, we are so good we cannot even look at ourselves in the mirror. Oh, wow. So we arrive there and we clear this land, we buy this property, and then we get the best. Imagine these African people, they are hunters and they're fishing and they're fit and they this big. So we employ them to come and work on our land. And these guys, you know, start to plant. We brought the seed from Italy. Hey, Italian. So, you know, these tomatoes, they became the best tomatoes. They were this big. Like, imagine this soil has never been used for agriculture. All the water from the Zambezi River, the tomatoes are fantastic. And we are saying to the local people, we are so patronizing. You see, agriculture is so easy. You put this little seed in the soil, then you water it, and look what happens. And the Zambian people were paid every night, and they big smiles. They took our money. And when the tomatoes were nice and ripe and ready for harvest, 200 hippos came out of the Zambezi River and they ate all the tomatoes. My God, the hippos! And we look at the Zambian people, and the Zambian people are laughing so hard, they have tears streaming down their faces. It's months that they're taking bets. Would the Italian beat the hippos to the tomatoes, or would the hippos beat the Italian to the harvest? Did you know about the hippos? And they said, yeah, that's why we have no agriculture here. So, why didn't you tell us? You never asked. us. We do whatever you want. And we said, oh my God. You mean that the hippos like tomatoes? They said they love everything. And if you plant it, they will come. And so, oh my God. Now we have spent millions of, at the time, liras. We have gone there, the training, we have recruitment, the best university in Italy, the translation of the program, the airlines, oh my God, the money we spent. So we cannot abandon that. Let's build a fence. Hey, let's build a wall so that we keep the hippos out. But we didn't have the money in the budget. So we are waiting, we say, what are we going to do? We ask the Italian Foreign Office for the money to, what kind of a fence do you need? Have you seen how big the hippos are? Huge. So what kind of a fence? So we are struggling with this idea of the fence. Finally, a local person helped us, and he told us the truth. The local guy said, don't build a fence. And we said, why? He said, because the hippos are not the problem. What do you mean they're not the problem? Look what they've done. And the guy said, yeah, but you should see what happened when the elephants showed up. The elephants. Where are the elephants? We've never seen an elephant. Yeah, because we are Italians. And we do not know the elephants migrate. They like birds twice a year. Thousands of elephants from Zimbabwe, they will cross the Zambezi River to go up to the northern part of Zambia, and then they will come back. And when you plant too much food in a location, they smell it 20 miles away. So they said to us, don't build a fence. Because when they come, they will destroy everything. So we abandoned the project. And that was my first project. So then I thought, okay, let's do what international aid organizations do. Let's not tell anybody. Shh. We made a mistake. Let's blame the local people. Every international aid project that fails blames the local. It's their fault. Haiti is the local delinquency. It's nothing to do with the Red Cross. It's the local people. So let's not tell anybody. But then, as a professional in the field of African development, I met and I saw what other people were doing in Africa. I saw what the French were doing. We Italians think that we are arrogant. Whoa, meet the French. Whoa. We think that the French are arrogant. Here comes the English. You should see the rubbish that we Europeans and Americans have done in Africa. You want to read the book? You have to read Dead Aid by Dambisa Moyo, a Zambian PhD professor at Harvard. Read Dead Aid by an African woman, PhD in economics. She says that international aid is malicious. Came to a point when I was 27 years old when I couldn't cope anymore, because we never, ever, 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 ever listened to the local people. we would always arrive uninvited with our own idea of what the local peasants should be doing. And I was so distraught that a friend of mine in the same agency, a young woman, said to me, Ernesto, if you really feel bad, read this book, and this will really tip you over the edge. Read this. And in 1975, I read Small is Beautiful by Ernest Schumacher. Ernest Schumacher was working in Africa in a completely different way. And in chapter 13, a chapter titled Unemployment in India, he wrote one line that changed my life. And you say, how can one line in a book change your life? Let me tell you what he wrote. In writing about development, he said, about development, if people do not wish to be helped, leave them alone. This should be the first principle of aid. What? If people do not wish to be helped, what are you talking about? We never ever listen to them. We do not even know if they want us there. We go to Africa because we are good people. We go to Africa because we want to give Africans, the chance of getting some of our superior technology, culture, education, religion. I could not understand what this guy was talking about, so I read all his books. Good work, a guide to the perplexed. And when I understood what he was saying, oh my God, how embarrassing. We Americans, we Europeans are the most arrogant son of bitches. What a bunch of arrogant bastards we are. We really think in the marrow of our bones that we are better than them, don't we? How dare we go uninvited to tell people how to live their lives? Who the hell we think we are? Uninvited? What will happen if somebody uninvited will come to your house to tell you how to educate your daughter? What would you say to that person? How can we do it? How dare we? What is the first principle of aid according to Schumacher? Respect! Respect! How dare us? So I get Small is Beautiful. I go to the first university in the world that accept me to do a PhD. And guess what my PhD is about? Development in response. In response. I am available to you. Tell me what you need. Tell me what you want to do. And I will help you transform your life. So I arrived with Small is Beautiful to my university in Stellenbosch in South Africa. I'm the first ever non-South African accepted to do a PhD in political sciences at a white supremacist university because apartheid was still on. And I arrived with this face, and I say then, I want to look at development in response. And these 3 professors listen to me, and then a week later they invite me. And I swear to you, they did this drawing to me. They say to me, Ernesto, who will ever invite you? You say you only want to go if invited, you want to sit under the tree with the elders, you want to listen to what they need, and then you want to help them realize it. Which community will ever invite you? A rich community or a poor community? And I said, a poor community, because the rich community doesn't need anybody. So a poor community will invite me. They said, exactly. Who lives in poor communities? People. I come from a village in Abruzzo of 3,800 people. I'm a rural boy. I know people with very little money. They're like me. So I said, I will go and, invite it. In poor community, there will be people. They said, no. In poor community, there are poor people. And what are the characteristics of poor people? Uneducated, unemployable. They suffer all the illness of poverty. Broken family, alcoholism, drug usage, delinquency. And you want to listen to them? Are you nuts? Are you crazy? You cannot listen to them. Ernesto, there is only one way to do development work, and it's this. The knowledge, the know-how, the knowledge is with us, with the educated people. We have knowledge. See this university? Anything the local people want, we have. Agricultural development, agricultural tech, anything. We have the know-how, they don't. So we are so good in this university. Every university in the world is so good that what we do, we create an extension agent, and what we do, all the knowledge this agent has, and the agent can give it to the client. This is the only model for development. Those who have it, pass it to those who don't have it. Ernesto, this is the only way. Fortunately, from the moment in 1975 when I started to understand Schumacher to 1978, 3 years when I went to Stellenbosch, I studied psychology. My first degree is in political sciences. Then I studied psychology. And the psychology that I studied is humanistic psychology, the post-comportamentalist, the post-behaviorist psychology. And my masters are people like Carl Rogers, Abraham Maslow, Erich Fromm, Adler, the post-Jungian, and above all, we are post-behaviorists. We do not believe that it is possible to motivate a human being. Because if it were possible to motivate a human being, you would be able to motivate your children. Have you ever tried to do that? I have 5 kids. 4 girls, 1 boy. Humans are too smart to be motivated. We are not rats. So, my professors of humanistic psychology, they taught me one thing that is the key to everything I'm going to tell you from now on. And what they told me is this. Every healthy human being, in whatever country, whatever culture, every healthy human being has a dream for self-improvement. Every single human being. I have never met you before. You have a dream for yourself. I never met you before. You have a dream for yourself right now. You have a dream. You have a dream. Guess what? Everybody out there is like you. It's exactly the same dream. And do you know what human beings dream about? First, make sure that we can eat. Make sure that we have a roof on our heads. Make sure that our children can eat. Our children can have a roof. Make sure that they can eat, drink, have a roof tomorrow and the day after. And as soon as they have safety, our dream change. Now we want love. We want to be loved. We want respect, self-respect. But it's so predictable if what your dreams are. If tonight you trusted me and you invited me to go and have a cortado with you, and you really trusted me and you knew that I would respect your confidentiality, you will tell me your dream. And you know what are the dreams in this room? Some of you want to go back to university and finish your PhD. Some of you want to divorce. Some of you want to go and learn how to fly fish in Scotland. Some of you have a dream to set up a startup to do some good work in the community. But each of you has a dream. In this room right now, there are millions upon millions of dollars of projects, ideas, values. So I said to my professors, dear professors, the three of them, this is my model. There is no know-how, knowledge, but instead of an agent of extension in the middle here, there is a facilitator. And then there is the client. What changes in my model is the direction of the arrows. It goes like this. The client with a dream asks the facilitator, and the facilitator goes and gets the knowledge that the clients need, not only in the university, but goes to consultants, go and look for the other farmers, you go and look for the knowledge anywhere there is knowledge that can benefit the client. And they said to me, we don't believe it. And they gave me the greatest present of my life. They challenged me. Wow, please, anyone, challenge me. Because I spent 40 years proving those three professors wrong. I got my PhD, I've written 2 books, I'm writing my 3rd book. They saved my life because they didn't believe me. You know what I've done? I went to a community in Australia to set up my very first project, and I have to tell you about it. And then the project was so successful that for the last 40 years, I've been invited to do it in 400 communities in 27 countries. And we have helped to start 60,000 businesses without ever giving money to anybody. Just transforming the individual passion, talent, beauty, into a way for that woman to change her life, the life of her family, contribute to the society, inspire her society, so that we have hundreds of people from the same community coming to talk to our enterprise facilitators. I left South Africa. I went to university in Australia, and in the university in Australia, the professor said to me, "I don't believe you." But then he said, listen to this. He said, "What can I do to help you to prove that I'm wrong?" Have you ever met a professor like this? A professor who says, "I don't believe you, but what can I do to help you to prove me wrong?" And I said, "I need to have been invited by a community. I'm not going unless they invite me, because I'm not a missionary." Remember, we arrogant bastards, we believe that they need a better God, so we go and we give it to them. Remember what we have done to the Maya civilization. We have burned their books in the name of our Christian faith. Burn their books in the name of our God. So let me not go there, because right now I'm really pissed off with what's happening in Palestine and Israel. Okay? Religious, yes, I love you. Don't kill anybody in the name of your God. Okay? Part of our terrible arrogance. We are superior. To whom? How dare we? So this professor said, I said, "I am not going to go as a missionary, so I need to be invited. I don't know anybody. I just arrived in Australia." And the guy said, "Ernesto, leave it with me. Sooner or later, a university is coming to a community is coming to the university. When they will come to me, I will tell them that I have a PhD student." By the way, he gave me a scholarship to do it. And so he says, "I will tell people that there's this crazy Italian guy that has a different idea about what to do in their community." And he did that. A few months later, he said to me, "Ernesto, there is a community, but I don't know whether you want to there, because it's the community from hell." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Because their economy is collapsed, and you are going to go in a place where they are really struggling." And I said, "Fine, I mean, send me down there." So this community was a community 700 kilometers from Perth in Western Australia, community of 10,000 people. On the water. The economy had collapsed because the fishing industry had collapsed. And the community of 10,000 people, they had until 2 years before, they had a prosperous tuna fishing industry. They had 45 tuna boats with 450 crew. And these 450 crew were bringing decent money in the community. And the government stopped them from fishing. They said, "The fishing, your tuna is too small for the Japanese market. We want you to stop. We want you to sell your quota to the South Australians who are better organized." So they were encouraging the fishermen to get out. And 40 boats sold their quota to the South Australians in the village, so they lost 400 jobs. They had a factory that was processing fish with 120 people closed. So they lost 600 jobs directly, with all the consequences of, in a community of 10,000 people, you lose 600 jobs. And then the economy, the farming economy, struggled, and the economy went in a deep recession. Imagine this, arriving in a community where the only grocery shop, the only supermarket had closed down. And it was this big building in the main street, closed down. So I arrived in the community in a moment of terrible crisis, and I've been invited to speak to some of the people thinking strategic about the future. And I tell them, do you know anybody who has an idea that we can help? And they laugh. You coming here? We have thousands of unemployed people, and you want us to introduce you to a person with a passion? What the hell are you talking about? Go back to the university. The alcalde, the mayor, said to me, do you think that the people here are lazy? Do you think that people don't want to work? It's the government problem. The government destroyed us. The economic development director, he said to me, Ernesto, people here, they don't have half a brain. They, don't look for people with their own ideas, Ernesto. No, these are peasant people. They don't know. If you come here with an industry, yeah, they come and work for you, but we have to train them. In 2 days, all the most important people in the community, they told me that I was a dreamer. And they gave me a nickname. Imagine me 40 years ago. Black mustache, black hair. They gave me a nickname. And they called me, my nickname was Inspector Clouseau. So everywhere I went, oh, Inspector Clouseau. Everybody laughing at me. Because they say I was Inspector Clouseau, with a magnifying, looking for the entrepreneur, the person with the passion. They say we don't have those people here. So I went to speak to anybody who would speak to me. And I went to the Office of Unemployment. And the director said to me, oh, Inspector Clouseau, well, good morning. And he was so condescending, so rude. Finally, I've been in the community for 5 days. I looked at him and I said, you are a bunch of bastards. You are the gatekeepers. Why don't you let me speak to your unemployed people? You want to see passion? Let me speak to the people suffering. Not to you. You're fine. Let me speak to your clients, the unemployed people. He said, oh, you want to speak to my unemployed people? You think that they are these sharp people? Said, they are quite happy with the money that I give them. I said, well, why don't you accept my challenge? He says, okay, challenge accept. Come tomorrow, we make a few telephone calls, let's see who comes. And there is a God. There is a God. Because only one unemployed person came the following day, and he was exactly what I wanted. 45 years old, short, bald, fat, angry. He told me the story. He was the previous director of the factory with 120 people processing fish, and he lost his job. And he says, okay, doesn't matter. I have a beautiful villa by the ocean. By the way, the community is gorgeous. If you go to Australia, go and visit Esperance. Beautiful, beautiful place on the ocean. 140 islands in front of Esperance. Gorgeous. So the guy said, I'm going to sell my villa, going to go to Perth, get another job. What happens to the price of houses when the economy collapses? His villa was worth nothing. He now was still paying the mortgage, couldn't find a buyer. He was stuck. Lost, the wife divorced him, so she kept the house. When I met him after a year, he was living in this tiny little apartment, subsidized rent, on unemployment benefit. And this guy was so angry. Why he was so angry? Because when he lost his job, his factory stuff, he started a little business in his garage. He was of Maori descent, the indigenous people of New Zealand. He had moved to Australia, and what the Maori do, they know fish. That's why he was the director of the factory. And they know how to smoke fish, to make smoked salmon, smoked fish. So in a kiln in his garage, he built it for $100 himself. He was producing this fantastic fish. And he started to sell it. The people would smell the smoke and say, oh, Maury has some fresh fish. They would go by. And Maury said, oh my God, I can make this into a business, but I don't have the money. I'm on unemployment. I don't have the money to buy 250 kilograms of fish every day. So I buy few kilos, smoke it, sell it, make few dollars, buy few fish. I need an investment. I need at least few $1,000s. Who can help me to get few $1,000s? He says, I know. There is this guy at the golf course. I used to play golf when I was the manager of the biggest company. I'm going to speak to the guy I was playing with, who is a semi-pro golfer. He plays with all the rich people. He gets this guy to come to the factory in his garage, and the guy comes in the garage and says to him, Maury, his name was Maurice, Maury, are you nuts? You inviting me here? And he said, why, what's wrong with you? Don't you know what I do? He said, no, what do you do? I am the inspector for the city council. I am the health inspector. Are you showing to me you selling fish from a garage? I have to close you down. He closed him down. So when I met him, he is so angry. He said, I could look after myself. Nobody helped me here. So I said to him, does the mayor know that you exist? He said, of course, everybody in the community knows that I'm making such a racket. I hate all of them because nobody helps me. And I said, strange, because you see, I've asked them, do you know somebody who has a passion that we can help? Nobody mentioned you. Why? And then I said, of course, because for the authorities, development is not to help one person. It's nothing to do. Maury for them is not economic development. He's a poor bastard in a garage. So, motivation, you know? I said to him, if I help you, will you help me? He said, who are you? And I said, I'm doing a PhD, blah, 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 blah. I believe there are lots of people like you. And the guy said, and what do you want? I said, if I help you for free, in confidence, I don't know whether I'll succeed, but if I help you, will you then tell the story to the entire community? Because I believe there are lots of people like you in this community. He said, yes, there are. Ernesto, I'm telling you, you help me, absolutely I help you, because there are lots of people I know who have dreams, but nobody helps them. So I said, okay, deal. Show me what you're doing. His smoked salmon was the best was trout salmon from the ocean. He said, it was the best salmon I ever had. And I said, where do you sell it? He said, to the local people, but they're all unemployed. How much you charging? He was charging nothing. And I said, this fish should be sold in the best restaurant in the capital city. Maybe somebody 700 kilometers from Buenos Aires. And I said to this person, your product should be sold in the best restaurants of Buenos Aires. And the guy said, I don't have the money to even call the capital. So I live there. Can you prepare some samples for me? Wait for my call. When I call you, can you come to the capital? He says, yes, I have some people with trucks. They can take me for free. I said, can you prepare some samples? He said, yeah, I can prepare samples because if I don't sell them, I can use the kiln to smoke it. So, okay, wait for my call. I go back home, I am so angry with what I saw in the community. I went to an Italian guy with a restaurant and I said, give me the names of the 10 best restaurants in the capital. He gives me the list, Hilton, Sheraton, all the best catering company for the railway. I make a telephone call, make appointments, and I said, I discovered this fantastic product. I'm doing a PhD. I didn't know what to say, but I said, organizing. I never sold fish before in my life. So Maury comes with me and we go see the chefs. Have you ever worked with professional chefs? They are immaculate. They are the most professional people you ever met. With their whites, they're there in the morning, slice a piece of smoked fish, smoked trout, smoked salmon, say, how much per pound? Immediately they calculate how much they can make by selling it. 10 restaurants, 10 orders. Written orders. We take the written orders. I organize for Maury to speak to his accountant. The accountant knows the banker. We go to the banker with all the 10 written orders. We need $2,000. $2,000 to move the kiln from the garage to a space in the industrial park. Industrial park abandoned. All these empty buildings. And with $60 a week, we rent this beautiful building. It starts to employ 3 people. In 2 months, I get $1 million investment, $1 million Australian investment. He starts to employ 12 people, and I go to him to say, are you happy with what I've done? He says, Ernesto, you changed my life. You remember the deal, you have to help me now. He says, okay. We did a launch, we had a room like this. We had 300 people from the community, and he said, Maury, crying, he says, nobody believed me. You didn't believe me, did you? And Ernesto came, and look what we're doing. In 4 months, we're here. If you have a dream, speak to this guy. So immediately this guy from the audience comes to me and says, hey, can you help us with our tuna? We are the 5 remaining tuna fishermen. And what I did, I organized for these 5 fishermen to get together. And I said to them, what do you can do? Product, marketing, or finance? They say, we only product. We need to get somebody who understands finance and marketing to come and help you. Who do you know in the community you trust with your finances? The wife of one of the 5 fishermen was a banker. She left the job to join us. And the marketer took their tuna to Japan. Nobody had ever taken small Australian tuna to Japan because the government said it's too small, the Japanese will not like it. We got all the catch, 140 tons, sold at auction at Tsukiji Market in Tokyo. We will send the tuna by airplane, 70 hours will be on the market in Tokyo. We went from 60 cents a kilo to $15 a kilo in 9 months. The very first year they had $5.7 million Australian to look after. And my professor organized a conference, and we had a conference in the village. In 24 months we set up 27 companies, multi-million-dollar businesses, farmers selling flowers to the Dutch market, dry flowers. We had a group of 50 farmers getting together, forming a cooperative to process their spent use from mutton. And the conference was about people coming from the government to look at what we were doing, and the government, the Australian government, came to me to say, what did you do here? This is amazing. And I said, I did something very, very hard. I shut up and listened to them. And they said, can you do it again? Can you teach other people to do what you've done? So we set up a program that is 36 enterprise facilitators. We invented the name enterprise facilitators. We have 36 enterprise facilitators in Western Australia. They produce 1,000 new businesses a year, 1,000 expansions, all the rural villages. We set up 71 of them in New Zealand. I was invited to go to America. I live in California now for the last 25 years. And we have this mechanism to unlock the passion of the local people. There are now 3 ways of doing development. You can do development in a patronizing way, employing everybody. Like many mining companies try to do. They arrive in a community and they try to employ as many people as possible. That's patronizing, where you're the boss and they are your employees. You can do development becoming paternalistic. You treat everybody in the community as if they were your children. You pay them, you cuddle them. Oh, the little black man, so nice, so cute. That's, paternalistic. Or you can facilitate. Tomorrow I'm running a workshop for this organization to go into the detail of how you set up a non-patronizing, non-paternalistic, responsive approach to facilitate the transformation of individual talent into a way for the person, for that woman, for that man to transform their own ideas into a way of making a living. The program never gives people money, teaches them how to form a team that can make it, sell it, look after the money, and help people to find in the community the resources, the human capital necessary to form this little team of 3. I don't have the time to go into the detail now, but that's why I wanted to do a workshop tomorrow. There is one thing that I can tell you. From the moment I understood how extraordinary people are, it's now 40 years. Listen to this. I only ever see beauty. Be careful what you're looking for in a community. Because if you arrive in a community looking for problems, you're going to see them. You're looking for delinquency, oh my God. And you're looking for drugs, oh my God. You're going to find what you're looking for. I'm looking for beauty, I found it. So there is a possibility that in a despairing community, when you arrive looking for beauty, you find somebody who has a dream. And what you do, you put all your attention on that woman and you help her be the very first example of a successful woman entrepreneur in that village. You realize, you understand what you're doing? She is going to inspire the community. Her friends will say, wait a moment, I'm smarter than Maria. If Maria can do that, I can do it. So the important thing is this looking for beauty, the observer, in a sense, produces the outcome of the experiment. Be the observer looking for beauty. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you. Thank you.